My home is in Altadena, California, which has come to the fore recently because in January 7th, 2025, we had the Eaton Fire, and the Eaton Fire destroyed most of my hometown. 8,000 structures were burned, so that was a dramatic event, and that was what displaced me. When I got the evacuation notice to leave, I didn't want to go at first. I just did not believe it. When I saw my neighbors leaving, I thought, well, I gotta go then. I just took the cat's things, my medicines, and my purse. That's all I took. And that's when I hit the firestorm. And it was pretty dramatic. There were thousands of pieces of embers flying through the air at 100 miles an hour, landing everywhere and starting fires. There was no way that they could have fought it. No way. It took us some time to realize that your home was gone. It just didn't seem possible. I had lived in the home 57 years, so it was quite an experience to be suddenly without my home and without, all of my possessions. My husband had passed in 23. He would have been more upset by it than I was because he loved his home and this was paradise for him. So I'm very grateful that he did not have to experience the loss. It took me a while to even want to go to the property. 6 months I didn't go. I didn't want to see it, in its burned state. After about 6 months, I decided I have to make some decisions about how I'm going to get back to my lot in Altadena. And then I discovered online that there were tiny homes. So I was fascinated by that. So I did some research and I found Clever Tiny Homes. It was scheduled to be delivered January of 2026. But then something happened. I was informed that there was a retired firefighter and his model was to be delivered in late November. So he volunteered to switch with me in order for me to get back to my home sooner. And I was like, wow, that's fantastic. So I want to express my gratitude to him and his family. And so I was able then to complete the site prep, get the proper permits from LA County and all of that, and they delivered the tiny home. And here I am, living my new life in my home location in Altadena. I can't even describe what it's like to go through this horrific event and then the wonderful help that you get from other people. My husband's ashes were still at the site. Another volunteer organization came with sniffer dogs when they were able to get some of the ashes, which I now interred in Mountain View, which was very comforting. So I'm very grateful to all the volunteers who went to the site and tried to salvage things. I'm so grateful to all my family, my friends, my neighbors, and it's still going on. People are helping people all the time. Moving to the tiny home was a mystery, I tried to mimic my other home in ways that would be comfortable. I wanted to make a nest, basically, because I felt like a person that had been shot out of a gun somewhere ended up in some foreign place. And I just wanted creature comfort that I was familiar with, and I've done that. But the living room, I knew exactly what to do, and I did it. I made my coffee table because I always make one of these. It's a basket that I purchased, and then my favorite glass shop made the top for me. And then I put a handle on it so I can put my throws and pillows in there. And it's perfect. And I like the buffet because it has drawers and it's like an entertainment center. My big splurge was the couch. I had the couch custom made to fit. I'm used to having friends for tea and community meetings sometimes with groups, and I wanted to be able to seat 6 people. And so I can. And then I have an extra chair and 2 extra stools. So I can have a little committee meeting, which I wanted to be able to do with no problem. That was my concern, that my lifestyle would be somehow impacted living in the living room of a tiny home, and it has not. I wanted to use this space for my office because I use the office a lot, and my computer's here, my radio, and I have 2 printers. I have my office files down underneath. It functions very well, and I love it. And this cabinet under here is where I store my office supplies, and it's very functional. And I didn't think I could have an office, but I do, and I love it. I love having an office space. The deciding factor, really, after my research was the construction and the design and the engineering that went into the clever tiny home. It was so impressive. Everyone said, you don't want to move back now because they're constructing all around. I said, well, no, I want to get back as soon as possible. And here I am in my tiny home. There's caterpillar noise, there's construction noise on 3 sides. I'm in here, I hear nothing. So they've lived up to everything that I imagined that they would. It makes me so happy and so comfortable. I do want to say one thing, that the emotional healing that I'm getting by moving home sooner, I cannot tell you. I mean, the minute I moved here on December 1st, I was back home. Even my cat Lena has had a whole different attitude since she came back home. So Lena and I are much happier here. My kitchen is really one of my favorite places because it's so me, and it's so exactly the way I want it. It has the little serving things here when you're eating. It has the plates here. It has the knife rack here. It has my bread box. It has my setup for morning coffee. And most of all, I can have my terrariums. I didn't think I would have a place for them, but I do. And I love my terrariums. And they get plenty of light there. The wonderful dishwasher is here. I didn't opt for the oven because I either use the cooktop or the microwave. The microwave is fabulous, built in. As far as cooking, at 88, I don't do a lot of cooking. My caregiver makes breakfast every morning for me. She leaves at noon. I also, as a fire victim, am getting free Meals on Wheels. I couldn't believe it. So I'm pretty well not cooking a lot, but I would use a cooktop, or I have my crock pot. I love crock pot meals, but most of the time I'm heating up my Meals on Wheels, or I'm making a sandwich on the board here, and I'm fine. Beautiful storage everywhere. I have all kinds of storage. I have 6 storage drawers in the island. I have a lot of storage under the sink. I have a wonderful sink, which I have a little drainer here, so if I want to just do a few dishes, I just do them in the sink. I don't use the dishwasher unless I have a lot of dishes. So at the end here, I have my refrigerator with the freezer, plenty big for me. And then I have the cat tree, which I managed to put at the end of the counter and secure to the ceiling so she won't tip it over. And she is so happy. Many people are investigating the cost of a tiny home, and I can tell you that my utilities here will be much less. And also just the upkeep of a tiny home is way less, and the cost of the tiny home is way less. So I think it's a real solution especially for seniors who are living on fixed incomes or in retirement. They don't want to go into debt for a huge mortgage, And this is a solution because you can afford it, you can live very nicely, and you can save money. I did get the extra solar package. In fact, it could go off grid if I wanted to, but that's really going to save me a lot of money on the electric bill because the electric bills are really going to skyrocket because of the fire. In order to get it installed in a reasonable time, we got a temporary housing permit, which was very fast. We got a temporary power pole, and I inspected our current septic system, was able to hook up to that, and so it was very easy. It took maybe 6 weeks to get the permits, to get the hookups ready, and so on, and then to have a contractor prepare the site, because the site had to be graded, had to be prepared, and then they brought the tiny home. And because my neighbors' lots were still empty, we were able to pull the tiny home into place without a crane, so that was an advantage. And I was here the day of the delivery, and it was very exciting. A lot of my neighbors came to watch, and we had a great day. It looked much bigger when it was delivered than I imagined when I looked at it in pictures or whatever. But going inside the first time was so magical. I knew instantly that I was home. The bathroom is a stunner, and it's so complete. This is one part of the bathroom because it's split one side of the hall and the other. So you can have this wonderful sink, beautiful same countertops, fantastically big medicine cabinet. Look, Kitty, you see my medicines in there? Kitty likes to come with me everywhere I go, right? I have my supplies under here. I have 2 baskets that fit in these little cubbies that have all my daily things. I have my adapted safety thing here. I have plenty of storage here. I like to use art posters from museum stores because you get a lot of art for very little money, and they're always very well printed. So who else could have a Picasso in the bathroom? And I have my jewelry thing hanging on the door with the mirrors, and I can have dual mirror because I can see the back of my hair in it. It's so good. It works so well. And on the back of that door, I have a hanging rack for my jackets. So when I'm going out the door, I just grab a jacket and I'm off. So that door is very functional, but I don't actually close it in the bathroom. I use the pocket doors for privacy. I have one here and one on the other end, so I can close the bathroom entirely and have my own privacy here. The other side of the bathroom, which I opted for the tub shower combo because I like to soak. I have my wonderful padded cushion and my slip-proof little thing in there. And this is where I keep my ladder because I need a step ladder to get to the higher shelves. So I have a wonderful one that has rails to hold on to. So both me and the caregiver like this ladder because it's very safe. So we keep it in here out of harm's way when we're not using it. And the special tile epoxy is designed not to get moldy and to be flexible so the tile never cracks. But I love tile. I've always wanted tile. And when they had tile, it was perfect. So it came out spectacularly better than I could ever imagine. And I'm so happy in here. So at the end of the tiny home is my bedroom, which I've nicknamed the cocoon because I always had a 4-poster bed, as always, and I thought I'll have it again. Here I've tried to maximize my space. I have a beautiful dresser with lots of drawers. I have beautiful shelving unit and a sort of a matching floor mirror so I can see when I'm dressed if I'm presentable to go out into the world. And I have the washer dryer, which is super wonderful. And I have lots of storage over here. And I raised the bed on risers, so I have storage under the bed. What's not to like? Everything's put away. It's wonderful. I have surrounded myself with beauty so that when I'm here, I can relax, have comfort, and good sleep, and Kitty loves it. Kitty joins me sometimes, don't you, Lena? She loves the bed too. My tiny home, my clever one, is placed on the lot where my former home was before the Eaton Fire. As you can see, it's placed over there, but this was all my home. That was the remains of my patio up there. You can still see some plants coming back. All this is reclaimed flagstone from my lot that's been repurposed as a impromptu path. It'll have to be redone properly, but for now my gardener was able to make me a path till we figure out what else we might do with the lot. It's very encouraging because I can watch my neighbors' progress. You know, they're all starting to rebuild. Most of them will be back in their homes by the end of this year. It won't be the same, of course. The country club is gone, the golf course is gone, the bank is gone, the pharmacy is gone. But those businesses will come back, but it will be different. But it's so nice to know that I'll have my same neighbors that I've had for 50 years. One word, I would say content. It's easy. Everything is at my fingertips. I don't have to stress. I don't have to go to great lengths. If I want to make a cup of tea, it's steps away. Anything that I need is right here at my fingertips. I never really had that before, not to the extent that I have now. It's just comfort and contentment. I want to thank the viewers for coming and visiting my tiny home. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you see that it's a wonderful life.